Alright, so I've been making long-range videos for quite some time, and I've actually gotten serious about it. As you guys have noticed, my channel has started to grow probably over the last year and a half. And in that last year and a half, there's been one thing out of all the things that I have done, which has improved my video quality, all the different things, there's been one thing that I have done that has improved the quality of my video amongst beyond anything else, and that is the addition of filming through the spotting scope for all my long-range videos. I do a lot of long-range shooting, a lot of long-range videos. A lot of you guys watch all the ELR shots that I do, the long-range shooting that I do, the ballistics gel test. All that now is filmed through this. This is the Hawke Endurance ED spotting scope. This particular one is the 25 to 75 by 85 models. This is the biggest one that they make, and we're going to talk a few things about this particular spotting scope, why this is the spotting scope that I chose, why I think it is the perfect fit for me as far as the price that I was looking at spending for a spotting scope, as well as all the quality and features that are built into this thing, and why a spotting scope is important. Because for a long time, I did a long-range shooting for many years and never once really considered needing a spotting scope. And since I have had the spotting scope, not only has my shooting improved because I can see more things that are going on downrange, but on top of my shooting improving, I'm actually able to shoot out to further distances because I can see what's going on at those further distances much more clearly through even the video that I'm taking and then watching back through my spotting scope over what I can see through my retic or through my optic on my rifle. So spotting scopes have a big place. I personally, like I said, did not think that I needed a spotting scope for the longest time, and since having this, I have been sorely mistaken and missed out for many years. So, like I said, this is the Hawke Endurance ED spotting scope. So this thing, we did the review on the Hawke Frontier, and my favorite thing about that optic is the glass quality. Hawke's ED glass is, as far as the OEM scope manufacturers go, as far as all these different, because as you guys know, as we've talked about, I use a lot of the OEM scopes. I see a lot of merit in them. I've had a lot of success with them. And as far as a lot of the OEM scope manufacturers go, I've used a lot of the different brands. Hawke has probably the best glass as far as their ED glass out of any of them that I have tried thus far. And because of that, knowing that how important the glass quality is in a spotting scope, they are who I looked at for my spotting scope. So the glass in this being ED glass, it's their ED glass. I do believe, and it doesn't say on the website, that it's the ED crown glass, which is what the glass is in that Frontier scope, but it sure looks like it is the same glass, has the same clarity, same color and all that. So it has the ED glass, it has it's fully multi-coated lenses, and the prisms in this are the BAK4 Poro prism. So this thing has fully dielectric coated prisms. So I found that on their website. That is something honestly I don't know about. Some of you out there may be able to tell me what the dielectric coatings do, but it says it allows for a brighter, clearer picture, and I do believe that that probably is true, seeing the picture that I get through the Hawke Endurance spotting scope here. So we've got a 3x ratio eyepiece. The eyepiece does have an eye cup, an adjustable eye cup, adjustable from 25 to 75. This thing has two focus, so two basically your parallax knobs, but this thing has two of them. So this back one here, as you spin it, you'll notice the front one spins at the same time. So this back parallax knob is actually your coarse adjustment, so you use it to get it close to fine-tuned, and then you use this front one to really fine-tune your picture, and it really works absolutely fantastic. This thing, there's not been any distance that I have shot all the way up to and including the 1.5 mile shot, so 2,640 yards that we did here recently, that I wasn't able to really get some advantage and fine-tune my picture, even in some of the worst conditions when I've got some really bad Mirage, things like that. I've been able to really get rid of a lot of that by fine-tuning it out using this really fine focus knob here in the front. So that's another big advantage to this spotting scope, is that fine focus there in the front. I have seen many other ones with this. One of the things I will say, as we've talked about, is this thing, they claim that all the coatings and the dielectric coating that they're using is adding to the brightness of this spotting scope. I think that included with the ED glass, because like I've talked about, the quality of this ED glass really allows you to cut down a lot of the Mirage. So I've got a video that I did a little bit over a year ago, where me and Joey went out and he shot, I think, his 6.5 Creedmoor out to 2,060 yards, and I shot my 6 Creedmoor out to the same distance. And in that video, the Mirage was terrible. Now, we weren't filming through this spotting scope. I have been out there, and the Mirage was pretty bad through our optics on our rifles as well that day. I have been out there many times since then with those same conditions, looking through this scope, and have many videos filmed in conditions very similar to that with just as bad a Mirage. And what I'm able to do with the glass quality in this and being able to fine-tune out my parallax really allows me to cut down a lot of that Mirage. And the video quality through this, and I won't tell you what brand that other optic was, that other spotting scope. It is a comparable price spotting scope from a very reputable brand, I will say that. And I think that this hands down does a much better job of cutting through that Mirage than that scope did. And you're going to spend just as much for the spotting scope we were using in that video for this particular spotting scope. So another big plus to this, I think that it's doing everything that I was hoping that it would with the glass quality of the Hawke's ED glass. And beyond that, it has every adjustment that I would want or need for all my purposes. So you guys know I shoot F-class. Now, the type of F-class shooting I'm doing, I'm typically not laying there with the spotting scope in one eye while I'm shooting a rifle with my eye looking through the scope. But you do see that from time to time, especially with a lot of the guys that are shooting Palma or Sling. So this actually has the ability to rotate the body of this scope as well. So you loosen this fastener up here on the end, and you can actually rotate this to fit anywhere fit anywhere you want it to. So if you're laying down in the prone and you're looking through your scope, you can actually also be getting a clearer picture and spotting your shots through the spotting scope with the other eye. And you see that from time to time, it matches. And so this scope actually had every feature that I needed and wanted in a spotting scope, and for a price point that you can't beat. So these things come from, you can get these in many different sizes. So Hawke has many different spotting scopes. They don't just have the Endurance ED, they have many other spotting scopes, as well as a ton. Hawke is mainly a rifle optics company, so the majority of their things are not done through spotting scopes or binoculars or things like that, which they do also sell. Most of their stuff is done through precision rifle scopes and hunting scopes. We've done a review on the Hawke Frontier scope in the past. I've actually seen quite a few different Hawke scopes, looked through them. Hawke makes an absolutely fantastic scope for their price point. One of the things that I really enjoy about all of Hawke's optics is they use really high-end pieces in all of their optics. So all the components to their optics are above their price range typically. So they not only make spotting scopes, they have a huge line of different spotting scopes. I think the Endurance is their top of the line, top tier spotting scope, and the price point on this is fantastic. So you can get these ranging from, they have a 13 to 39 by 50 for $449, all the way up to this, which is the big one, the 25 to 75 by 85 for $799. Now, in the realm of spotting scope prices, that is nowhere near a overpriced spotting scope for the quality you're getting here. Most spotting scopes that you're getting with this type of glass are going to be well above that $1,000 price point, and for them to come in, and this is MSRP, you will find these much cheaper than that if you search around. They also have a 15 to 45 by 60, a 16 to 48 by 68, and a 20 to 60 by 68. One thing I will say, I've got many videos shooting this thing out to distances beyond 2,500 yards, and in all those videos I don't think I have one video where my magnification was turned up above 38 power. Most of my videos, I think even as far as the video that we did, the 1.5-mile shot, so 2,641 yards, even that shot with the 7 SOM, the video that when we were recording this, I think it was only on about 35 power magnification. So I wanted the big one because I do a lot of these ELR shots, and I may need that extra magnification. But for $449, you can get the 13 to 39 by 50, which actually has all the same features, smaller spotting scope, more compact, and will easily get you to seeing out to these distances as far as even 1.5 miles. So sometimes these higher powers aren't needed, these higher magnification spotting scopes, but it is nice to have. But for the quality you're getting, you can get all this in even one of their smaller options for a much lower price point. So one of the other things that does come with a cover, so this thing comes with a soft cover, which has really come in handy. Typically when I take this to the range, I just leave this in the soft cover. It's got a flip down front and a flip down cap, and one of the other things this thing has, obviously it has cap, so it has lens covers, but it has a built-in sunshade. So this built-in sunshade has came in so handy for me many times. There are many days, so sunshades on rifles, I've said in the past I'm not a huge fan of sunshades on rifles, and typically that's because I find that most sunshades are too long. So I will want a little bit of light reduction sometimes. I would like to have a sunshade, but you go to put on a sunshade that's too long, it takes away too much light, and it takes away from what you're able to see downrange. So with this one being an adjustable sunshade, I've found many different times where I've been able to actually fine tune and get the brightness exactly where I want it just by adjusting the sunshade and letting in just that perfect amount of light. So you can really stretch it out there and really use it as a really long sunshade, but if you don't need that, you can just really fine tune it. So that is one of the big features for me. But the carrying case, a lot of times you'll see me, when I go to the range with this, it just stays in the carrying case, and I set it up on the tripod in the case, ready to go. It's got a strap on it, so it's extremely handy package. So this is the Hawke Endurance ED spotting scope. This is the spotting scope that you guys have seen me filming through for the last year, or almost a year, and will be for the foreseeable future. I don't plan on this spotting scope works so well, I do not plan to be using any other spotting scopes to film my videos, because this suits all my needs. So I hope this was helpful. If any of you guys are looking for a spotting scope, or if you guys are shooting long range and not using a spotting scope, don't overlook the merits of a spotting scope, because they are a huge help and should be in every long range shooter's toolkit. So I hope this video was helpful. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.